Ryan, I want to talk to you about your your current transition from the Air Force into the commercial world. And I'm doing that because as a veteran myself, I didn't have as many resources, and I think people don't realize how many are actually out there. And I really want you to
Right.
tell your story so people can hear. Okay, there's a path, and there's a path in the cyber world when I leave the military to become super successful. So if you don't mind sharing, I'd love that.
Oh, definitely, definitely. So I haven't hit the super success yet, but I'm looking for like from your lips to God's ears, right? So I would say it's the taking advantage of there's a lot of money that's given to us now when it comes to certifications and for trying to grow your career field or your career field experience and then the knowledge associated with it, right? So for me, when I joined, I was data maintenance. I've never changed career fields, but my career field has changed over the past 19 years. So data maintenance, I did mostly like soldering on equipment, running telephone lines, things of that nature, just like real data maintenance. And then from there, there was a pivot where they started to merge our career fields. And the Air Force call them AFSCs, right? Air Force Specialty codes. From there, they merged us with telephone. They merged us with the switch and router guys. So we started to get a little bit more hands on when it came to switching and routing. Um, I was still very young in my career. My degree did not align with what I was doing. I was actually pursuing a degree in psychology, but my job was switching and routing, right? So they didn't really match. But um, I was I was a computer science dropout when I joined the military, right? I was going to school full time, working full time. It was not working for me. Um, but I was like, hey, there's definitely something here. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I'm going to finish my degree and then see where it goes from there. At that time, I transitioned to long haul circuits, so I started to learn like how big enterprise networks work. I was doing it for the NSA when I was in Alaska. I was still in the military, but that was our mission, and I was learning like some really cool stuff when it came to building networks, right? Like, here's how a network actually functions. This is how you get data from point A to point B. This is how you start to protect it. So it was like very early on, and that's when they sent me to school for Security Plus and Net Plus because they weren't sure like which direction the military was going. 8570, the requirement for you to be on a network was still evolving. So I pursued that. I got both those certifications. That was my first taste of certification. And I was like, I kind of like this. Let's see what the next assignment takes me. And it actually took me to Virginia at the enterprise level. So it's like, hey, you went from this is how you build a network for your squadron to you're now in charge of 120 bases in two different countries. So it's like, okay, I need to get spun up quick, right? Um, and they provided us the tools, the training. Uh, they weren't afraid to let us fail, right, on small scale, right? Like, don't take down the Air Force, but I'm not gonna lie, I have taken down a couple of production networks, but through that I learned and I grew, and then I got my CCNA. So my skills on the keyboard started to grow from there, um, and then I took a sharp turn and I went down to Florida to the Joint Communication Support Element. So that's a uh, you know, I, I'm trying to think of the correct way of saying it. It's a very cool organization. You are tip of the spear, like full throttle. I guess would be the politically correct way of saying it. You are a everything technician. So I'm learning how SATCOM communication works. I'm learning how directory service works, how to push phones across satellites, how to build networks in very austere environments, how to take over a network that belongs to someone else as an augmentee to special forces, things of that nature. So you grow really fast, and that organization definitely set me up for the future. That's where I got my PMP. That's where I got my CISP. That's where I finished my master's in cybersecurity. because I just had access to so much. And then again, like I said, not just the organization provided me those tools and they spent the money to make me a great communicator, but also you have Fed VTE, which you can use to pursue certifications. You have your cool funds. So for us, it's Air Force cool, but Army, Navy, they also have their own cool funds. Um, so I took advantage of a lot of different organizations to knock out several different certifications and also pursue my master's in the field. Again, you don't need a degree to be in cybersecurity, but that I had the time, I had the leadership that pushed me in that direction, and then I also wanted to make sure that when I got to the point now where I'm at, 5 years later, that I was ready for the transition. Right, there would be uh, not only do I check a lot of the boxes that come from the advertisement, but I also have the experience to back it up. So I always wanted to make sure I was ready for the transition. That's kind of currently where I'm at. I'm I'm you know not twilighting because I'm still working full time. I'm sunsetting from the military. I have a skill bridge lined up, and I can't wait to start in the next 60-ish days.